Hey guys, Scourge McDuck or SMD here. Sorry for the delay on uploads. I was practicing with my team for TI qualifiers, where, spoilers, we didn't do too well. But if you'd like to buy private coaching on Medify, the link can be found in the description. Or if you'd like to support my team, we have a merch store, and the link to that can also be found in the description. If you enjoy this content and would like to see more, make sure to subscribe and turn on notifications. Okay, so in this game, I picked Bloodseeker. I had 10th pick or last pick, and I had really good matchups here. So this is something I try to stress to people who I coach, is that if you're trying to gain MMR, it's really important to pick good heroes when the opportunity arises. Because if you pick a really strong hero in a game where it's like really good against the enemy's heroes and uncountered or whatever, or it hard counters the enemy heroes, you're pretty much just going to win the game. Even if you don't know what you're doing too well on that hero, if you have somewhat of an idea and you pick it in a strong enough game, it pretty much plays itself. So you can just get free MMR by doing things like that. Like, I'm sure it happens to you guys where the enemies will last pick a Huskar or a Broodmother or a Meepo or a Tinker or a Timbersaw or whatever, or like a Viper, and they just solo win the game, right? So you need to do that too. When the opportunity is given to you, you need to take those free wins. And in this game, they had a Timbersaw and a Huskar, and I had last pick. So it's just a super free Bloodseeker game. It's an okay lane against Timbersaw, but in the game you can rupture him and he can't really Timber Chain around. And you can survive the lane with Thirst pretty well usually. And then with Huskar, Burning Spears makes him lose health, so does Life Break. And he usually buys Armlet because his E heals him, so he wants to play on low HP, so he's getting the attack speed and the like regen or whatever from this. So he buys an Armlet and plays on very low HP. So by being Bloodseeker with Thirst, I will always be gaining the move speed from him playing low in the jungle. Also, we can potentially see him in the jungle or see him while he's trying to Roche if he does let his health drop below the 25% threshold. So it's just a super good hero against Huskar. Also the Rupture, once again, pure damage, and the old talent does the initial damage as well. So it's just really hard for him. He can't really use his life break in team fights if he's ruptured, and the Berserker's Blood passive gives him magic resistance, not resistance to pure damage. So it's just a really, really free Bloodseeker game. And yeah, I mean, we'll look at it a bit, but it pretty much just plays itself in this game, my hero. There's nothing too special in the lane. You just use your W to secure range creeps. I go back to your range creep and try to deny them. My Disruptor died a few times in lane, but he's ranked 96, European player, and he made some pretty good calls in the game. It was pretty nice. Other than a few deaths he had at the early stages. But a nice pull here too. Deny some range creeps. Deny another range creep. I guess items I didn't really mention or skill build. Yeah, start W normally. Some people start the Thirst just to get like the heal. But I don't really like that. I think the W is better because you want to use your base mana regen that you start with. If you don't skill anything that costs mana, you won't use any mana early. You won't use your 1.2 mana regen. So use Blood Right early and you can get mana regen and secure range creep and harass the enemies. Also, I think I used other rune in this game maybe. Starting, you don't normally, sometimes you can get away without buying tangos if your support gives you like 1 or 2 with your Thirst because it'll heal you. So you can start with like 3 branches, slippers, quelling, so you can secure last hits so you can get the heal, because if you don't have damage and you miss the last hits, you won't get the heal. But I did buy the tangos after the runes. I think I dropped it so my Disruptor could bring it, but I didn't start with any in my inventory because sometimes you can get away without buying any. And then I bought the Blades of Attack for the same reason. I want more damage to secure last hits so I can secure my Thirst healing me. So yeah, lane's going pretty nicely. Not CSing him. Have a lot of denies as well. Yeah, I have a lot of experience too. My Disruptor is level 3, and I'm almost level 6, so he's not taking much of my experience, which is very nice. I'm going to be 6 before the Timbersaw, it looks like. Yeah, so now I'm 6. We can look to kill Timbersaw if we have any stuns. And yeah, my Disruptor, I think he called for my Tiny to rotate with my 6, which is like, you know, if Tiny's really good, he can make the play himself. But I think the Lena called for Tiny. The Tiny's just getting bossed around. Lena told Tiny to TP mid and fill his bottle, so Tiny TP'd mid and filled his bottle. And then Disruptor told Tiny to come kill top because we have Rupture, and then Tiny came and killed top. So, I mean, you know, you can always help your teammates out. If you have things you want them to do, you can tell them. I mean, I didn't, and I'm usually pretty quiet in my games, but, you know, my teammates made these calls, and it was nice. I probably would have told my Disruptor to play aggressive with, like, Glimpse, even without the Tiny, but we Rupture him with Tossback and Glimpse. We have lots of ways to get bonus damage from Rupture by moving the enemies around in this game, too, which is pretty nice with the Toss and the Glimpse. So now we have a big creep wave, so we're playing pretty aggressive to zone this guy, and also, like I said, my Disruptor, he's pretty high rank, he played pretty well this game, made pretty good calls. He was mentioning how he can glimpse the Timber, so if you want us to play aggressive here. The Timbersaw, once again, you know, it's pretty high rank game or whatever. You know, he sat in the trees like you should when you're playing against Disruptors, so you can't get glimpsed. So right here, the Disruptor tries to glimpse him, but he's still in the lane because he waited 4 seconds before showing. I pull, deny a range creep here, my teammate's clarity me. Rupture's back up by the time here. Looked a bit scary there. Let's see, was he silenced in the end? But I mean, it worked out. Ronaldo's got the Rupture on him. I know he missed the silence, but he was stunned, so I guess he couldn't bring a shotgun back or something. And then we tossed on the Disruptor and he just took a ton of Rupture damage. And that was my support to clarity, so now I put my own that I had purchased. So I have no Rupture now, so Timbersaw's pretty strong when he comes back to land. With Struck him, he actually went no reactive armor. That's pretty wild. He's Grandmaster, though. I guess maybe he knows what he's doing, and that's what you want to do against Seeker. And they nerfed the E anyways, but I didn't notice that until now that he did that. But so yeah, he just did a ton of pure damage now for himself, and I have no Rupture, so I don't really want to fight him. So I didn't keep the lane static or anything once he died. And once he died, I hard pushed the lane here. Look, because the creeps were even. Both teams had a wave, and we're honestly missing a bit of health on this creep, so you know. It's pushing towards us just naturally if I don't do anything. But so I attack the range creep, and the melee creep that my range creep is attacking, so I'm killing the wave as fast as possible. So I can then go pull and just play out of the lane. I just want to delay until my Rupture's up, right? I don't want to fight this Timbersaw until I have Rupture up. So but Timbersaw did end up TPing bottom and killing my Enigma, so now I can go back to the lane in a second. But that was the initial reason. I don't want to fight the Timbersaw without Rupture, so I want to push the lane so I can hide and pull. So I'm still getting gold from killing the lane, and I'm still getting gold from pulling, and he's losing a creep from the pull as well. And then Rupture will be back, and I'll be able to fight him. But yeah, he went bottom, so the scenario didn't really pan out, but that's like a pretty interesting thing. A lot of people would probably just keep the lane static there and deny, and then the Timbersaw comes back, and they just get zoned off the wave, so they missed out on the whole wave that they could have killed, and they're not pulling, so they're not denying anything, and they're not farming the small camp creeps. So that was like a pretty small play that could have been very impactful if the Timbersaw didn't TP bottom. So yeah, right here too, like, this is what's nice. If you're a support player, you should try and do this for your cores. I'm just getting like this information handed to me, so I can make like very good decisions. And he's not even like asking sometimes. He literally said, TP mid on Bloodseeker and kill this guy with Rupture or something. He just told me what to do. And I mean, if I thought it was really bad, yeah, I'm gonna ignore him and not do it. But like, look, they're hitting our tower very aggressively. Tiny's already here, so if I TP, there's no way for them to TP out of my Rupture. They're going to get stunned, and the Disruptor's also already connecting when he told me to do this. So we're gonna have Glimpse follow up as well when I get here. I mean, the Omninet is pretty strong though here, so it didn't go that great to be honest. It looked a little dicey, but we hit the Rupture on him. Yeah, he had like a Fairy Fire and an Illusion Rune, and oh yeah, we messed up the toss actually, is why it was a bit dicey too. So he ended up tossing me back to the range trick because he was trying to toss him on the Rupture to get the damage, and I guess maybe the Illusion Rune messed him up a bit. But yeah, right here I got pretty low. I was a little scared of this not going well. But thankfully, we got another round of the Tiny Avalanche, and I heal up from it, and then this guy dies too. And Arlena showed up and did the damage and got both of the kills too. Which I'm super fine with, especially because I thought I was going to die. I'm super glad that my mid laner showed up and got the kills. I'm super fine with that. Way better than me dying. So right here, I could hit mid, but I have no Rupture, and they have like a Timbersaw, and they could have TA traps, and they're gonna spawn. And yeah, here's a TP. You can just come and throw chakrams, and there's a lot of creeps top, so I just run back to the top wave. And the siege too, so I pretty much saved my tower here from taking a bunch of damage, even if it, you know, wouldn't have died anyways, but maybe it would have even died. That was a really big creep over the siege. Blood of Clarity, got my Maelstrom. I could have TP'd here, or maybe I end up TPing here anyways. Now, I was watching, it just didn't look like, it didn't look good to me, so I didn't, but like in hindsight, maybe there was a TP opportunity there. And my team actually ended up taking the mid tower anyways, which is really nice, without me. So yeah, now they're diving hard, so I'm certainly going to TP this one. And I get the Rupture on the TA. So right here, he's GA'd, but Guardian Angel, Omni-Knight ult, if you don't know what it does, makes it so they can't take physical damage. But I have a Maelstrom, which does magical damage, so I continue to attack this TA. Also, I believe you burn Refraction from the physical damage, even if he doesn't take it. I could be wrong. It looks like he's running now with the Rupture. I'm not certain on that, but I think you lose Refraction charges if you're getting attacked, even though you're not taking damage. So I'm trying to burn the Refraction as well as get Maelstrom procs on him. Yeah, so it got a little bit low, looked to kite a little bit after this. And then my Lena comes and hits a stun. Obviously he doesn't want to run too much through the Rupture, so it's pretty easy to land Lena stun. Or whatever, and he came from Fog. So, get a nice team fight there. They sort of dove, and I had a nice TP reaction, and now I'm just farming all the enemy's jungle camps. I could have used the shovel there and got a mango, but sometimes it's just not worth like the effort. I feel like honestly, I think I'm one of like the carry players I've watched who use the shovel more when they find it. A lot of people just send it back right away. I normally will try to use it, but sometimes it just doesn't feel like it's worth the effort. So here, I'm not sure. Maybe I can speed it up at this point. There, it definitely gets clowny at a point. But the Timbersaw bought back. I'm not sure if he was like giving up or what. I think he still played a bit. He like kills this Tiny here and delays his blink. I'm not sure if it was like a bit of a rage buyback or if it was just tactical. It seemed a bit ragey after he had just died top or whatever. But he continues playing, so that's why I think this replay still has some value and merit of going over. If he just gave up at minute like 13, 14, there might not be much to look at, but he continued playing. So maybe again right there, there's TP potential with glimpses and tiny stuns and tossbacks that I could have killed them. But it just didn't look like I was needed or it was going to happen. And then I'm really fast now anyways after they get low, so I'm able to connect here. And I get a Rupture on the Huskar. And we glimpse him and he just takes a ton of Rupture damage. And glimpse damage and how that does damage. My Lena did a bit of a psychotic run up into this hill, into the Centaurs. So we ended up dying to the Chen. But I kill the Chen. Timbersaw split pushing. I'm giving my Tiny the lane here, trying not to show so he can get his Blink Dagger. But the Timbersaw was here, so I try to run him a bit. He's a Blink Dagger on Timbersaw, so we blinked away here. We weren't able to kill him or glimpse him. My network's pretty insane. Have my BKB coming, just connecting to these team fights. We're not even up that much gold, but it's just such a free Bloodseeker game. It was just a really nice temp pick from me. My lane went fine, and I TP'd a lot of good engagements, good dives from the enemies. So we're just playing their tri-camp now because we're stronger than them by playing in their tri-camp. That means the Huskar can't sneak Roche very easily. He'd have to go from some really weird angle, and if he's not showing on the map, we can also just check. And then if they do try to fight us, we can fight them, and if they don't try to fight us and they show bottom, we can then take Roche for ourselves. So right now, the TA is showing bottom, so we do take Roche for ourselves. So now we have an Aegis. This item's pretty nice in the Secret too. You can use it and get the 40 damage, and then heal with your passive. Bought the Shadowblade here, you get a Silver Edge, because they have Huskar and Timbersaw and TA even, who all have pretty valuable passive abilities, so I can break them. So we're just sort of taking all the tier 2s to extend our lead, and honestly, like, our team played pretty sloppy. I think our team itemized pretty poorly as well. So, like, the game wasn't even that easy, even with, like, the free pick. I think my team, yeah, I don't know, the Timber did a buyback, maybe the game got a bit clowny after that. But, trying to high ground, still pretty hard into the Chen creeps and the Timbersaw abilities. So we're going to go look for pickoffs, trying to find this Timbersaw here. He dives a bit too far, so we're end up getting a kill. Get a black hole on 2 cores here. Come and kill them both, I think. Yeah, kill a Chen. Get an ultra kill. Go push high ground now, still have Aegis, still have BKB, 8 second. Have finished Silver Edge. I'm not sending it out yet for some reason because I am bad or whatever. Now it's coming. Getting a bit low, gonna go try and heal off some creeps and see if we can still use our Aegis. Hitting high ground, wasn't able to rupture there. I think he had the Ags finished now, so I was taunted. Yeah. So we lost the Aegis, which is fine, because we want to use it. We don't want to just time out eventually. End up rupturing him, not sure if it was needed with the... or whatever. It's fine, whatever. He dies. Go and kill this guy. Right here, something really funny kind of happens. I have no BKB. We glimpsed the Timber. This Timber was pretty strong, to be honest. Like, I'm not sure if it's buyback with Rage or what, but he was owning regardless. He's got Ags and Blink. He just does a ton of damage. He's trying to kill me here. But I thought I could actually live here by running away, but some crazy stuff happened here. So as I was running away, I got completely surrounded by Eidolons, and my phase boots are cooldown. I honestly think I would have lived there had I not got surrounded by the Eidolons, but I did, so that's kind of clowny. And then, I mean, the game's pretty much over now. I'll speed it up, because I just think it's over at that point, though. Yeah, the Omni is actually now giving up to like kill those items or whatever, NA Dota Classic. But, we make a little weird dive here and die again, and the game gets delayed, but yeah, I called to go for a Roche to secure it. I also didn't want to buy my Shard. The Shard's really good here, but because we Roche so early, I figured I could get it from the second Roshan, so I went for, you know, different items. But the Shard is really nice. Your attacks deal 1.8% of the target's max health as pure damage, and heals you for that amount. So it's really good against strength heroes, and they have 2 very strong strength cores. It's good for man fighting them, and yeah, healing you up and dealing a lot of extra damage. Yeah, there's something weird here too. We saw the TA, and like, my Lina like didn't stun him like a while ago. I think it was right here. So we see the TA. I saw him meld. Yeah, I just saw him meld under vision, so I ping him. And my Lina doesn't use any abilities for some reason. And then I wanted to like just get pickoffs because Roche isn't spawning, so I look back at the TA. And I catch a glimpse of him, so I turn, and then he blinks away, and I'm pinging where I think he blinked. And then we caught a glimpse of him because of, I don't know, you saw it on the replay though, I think like the tree toss showed him or something. Or did he re-melded maybe? Oh, he was TPing at first, I guess. Oh wow, so we canceled the TP and we saw the meld. So I thought he was melded the whole time. So we canceled the TP, and then we saw him meld, so now we know he's here. So, yeah, we're just trying to kill him. Is his blink really never up though? I'm just wondering. Yeah, it really never came up, huh? That's unfortunate. And, yeah, we end up killing him, and then we go back to look for Roche, and it's up, and now I get another Aegis and a Shard. Roche is kind of owning me, to be honest. Yeah, I got a little scared. I thought the Timber Saw was gonna come, but we had a ward on him, so we saw that he wasn't. Got the Roche though, and the Shard, and I think we just end now. Yeah, the Omni I gave up eventually. He gave me their pod, and so we got another ultra kill. I think the first ultra kill was when it seemed like they were trying for the most part, but it was just a really free Seeker game. Not much to say. Really good 10th pick. They picked Seeker, or not Seeker, Huskart and Timber Saw. So yeah, my Disruptor made some good calls. But like even if he wasn't doing that, you know, if you were just playing well, you can make good rotations and plays with Rupture in the early game. So yeah, I had highest hero damage, highest building damage, 20 denies, only behind the Enigma on denies. Guess these two, the Timber Saw and the Lina, had more CS than me, but I was playing pretty active with the Ruptures and playing around like the Roshan area on the map and things like that. I guess I never really talked about talents, huh? Yeah, I'm pretty sure you just go right on all of your talents always nowadays. Maybe at level 25 you can go left. And maybe if you have at level 10 you can go left if you have some like crazy lineup that you're buffing up, like a Skywrath Mage or something like that. but you can't really go wrong if you just go for all of the right talents. In the skill build, yeah, you just want 1 in Blood Rate, and then you want to max your Thirst and max your Blood Rage. Sometimes you can go for the talent at 11 instead of 10, just so you have the no downtime on the Blood Rage. In this game, I didn't opt for that, but sometimes I will. No real reason other than, I don't know, I wanted more attack speed while I was hitting neutrals, and I didn't really care about the cooldown, I guess. I figured I'd be like walking between camps, and the cooldown wouldn't matter. And then sometimes you can also go stats over Blood Rate. I know I saw like Skitter from Tundra doing stats over Blood Rate, and I experimented with it a bit. But honestly, I don't think it's that good. I think the silence duration is the main reason I think it's worth leveling up. The cooldown, whatever, the mana cost, yeah, it goes up, but you don't really have mana issues. You kind of have mana issues sometimes, but nothing some clarities won't solve. I've also seen in the past people go stats over more points in Rupture, which I just don't really agree with. So, I mean, yeah, some people definitely try to take stats on this hero, but I don't know. Sometimes I'll take it over Blood Rate if I'm afraid of getting bursted and the silence doesn't look that value. But the pure damage here looks pretty good and the silence seems good enough. And the damage is okay for dealing with the Chen creeps, and the extra pure damage for the Huskar doesn't hurt. So, I mean, pretty straightforward game. They sort of were giving up, but I mean, we're ahead before they were giving up because of, you know, good picks and good plays, especially good calls coming out from my Disruptor.